Hello, welcome back to the Transfer Portal CFB presented by NoContextCFB. We've got another YouTube video for y'all today. Today, we've got Andrew Wilson here to talk college football and the NFL draft with me. We're both going to be going over 10 NFL draft prospects that we like. They're all draft eligible prospects. They might enter this year, they might not. We don't know what the future holds. But we're going to do our best to speak up 20 players, 10 each, hope that they have successful careers and that we're able to get their names out there, educate people on them. Some of these guys are not no names. Some of them are no names. It's a mixture. So my list starts off with Trent McDuffie. This is a 5'11" corner from Washington. Weighs 195. He's a true sophomore. He's coming off a strong 2 years at UW. He's played in 16 games. He has 59 total tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries. You speak to those fumbles. This kid hits, and he hits hard, and he tackles super well. For a corner, he's willing to tackle and help and run support. That's very, very good. Good fundamentals there. He hits hard as well, as you could tell based off those forced fumbles. He's an exceptional athlete, super quick. He's got good range. And that's a good combination to have when you can move laterally so well, get around the whole field, hit people hard, tackle well, tackle people in the open field on big plays. That's very good. He's got nice change of direction and sound footwork. And he shows what it takes to take away a side of the field and silence a receiver. He's really good in coverage. I think he's someone that you could see being a better pro player as opposed to a college player. I still think he's a very good college player, but I think when he gets to the pros, he's really going to hit big and truly become a household name. This is Trent McDuffie, someone who I could see being a top 20 pick when it's all said and done. And Andrew's up with his first prospect.
All right, that was a really good pick. I'm gonna go straight back to the corner position, and I'm gonna go over Nehemiah Pritchett, the third-year junior from Auburn, and that guy's straight up locked down. He has really fluid hips, which helps with his movement. He's really good at making plays from behind the receiver. He's good at knocking out the ball in the air, and he averaged about a half a yard allowed per coverage snap. I really think he has the chance to solidify himself as one of the top corners in the country. Obviously, he's not going to be talked about as much as a Stingley, but he played really well last year. I think he's going to play a lot better this year, just after another offseason of learning. Mainly played outside last year, but you might see a little bit more from him in the slot this year just because of players that are coming back to Auburn or coming in. And yeah, I think Pritchett's going to show... He's going to make himself a household name, not up there with like a Stingley because that guy's special, but you're definitely going to hear Pritchett a lot come April if he declares.
Love that pick there. I'm going to the other side of the ball that cornerbacks love locking down. I'm going with a receiver from Boston College, staying at 5'10", 177 pounds. It's Zay Flowers, the true junior, who's set for a big year with BC. He's playing 24 games. He's accumulated 78 catches, 1,233 receiving yards, 12 receiving touchdowns. Good for 15.8 yards per catch. He's added 38 rushes for 236 yards, 2 rush touchdowns. That's 6.2 yards per carry. Love seeing that versatility. NFL teams love that. We all love that. It's really good. He has incredible speed. He's mad explosive. And he has just a huge opportunity this season to boost his stock. BC, I think they're going to be a really good team. I think Phil Jurkovec is an NFL caliber quarterback who's poised for a breakout season. These two are going to be clicking and firing on all cylinders, so watch out for Jurkovec in addition to Zay. But yeah, Zay's just a super fun player to watch. He's truly electric. There was a step back he hit against Duke. I'm not talking basketball, but this dude hit a step back against Duke, man. It was disgusting. His moves are slick. and he's got like I love this prospect. I wrote so many good things about him. He's like a human joystick. His change of direction is fantastic. He's got really, really good footwork. He's dancing out there. He makes violent cuts. His vision is spectacular. I spoke to his ability as a rusher. His vision from the receiver position, it's like he is a running back. He's so deadly in the open field. He's got really good route running ability. He runs a little tree, jukes DBs out of their shoes before the ball is thrown, and he's catches them wide open. He tracks the ball well, makes contested grabs, even though he's a smaller receiver. One thing I think he needs to do is get stronger, just improve that strength. I really like Zay Flowers, though. I think that this is someone that will be like a top 50, 60 pick. I think this is a guy that draft Twitter falls in love with and just one of the more coveted prospects on draft Twitter. I like Zay Flowers a lot, and we're on to you for your next one.
You know, Zay Flowers, great receiver. Who gets the receivers the ball? That's the quarterback. I'm going to talk about my quarterback. Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pitt, number 8, 6'3", 220. He's not an above average athlete. Like, you're not going to see him running around the back of the field just trying to get everyone open. No, he's your run-of-the-mill athlete. He can make runs if you need to. He can get outside the pocket. He can run for a first down, but you're not going to see him run like a Lamar Jackson. Where you're going to see his potential is his arm. His arm is unlike a lot of quarterbacks in college right now. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's got great velocity on his throws. He's got that nice zip. And I think that's going to be really looked at when it comes to quarterbacks going into the NFL. You want that zip. Like, one thing I was really high on with Trey Lance is he's got great zip on the ball, and he's done really well so far. The only thing I will say when it comes to that is sometimes he has so much zip, he kind of loses a bit of the accuracy. So maybe I'd say he needs to work on that. But otherwise, I wouldn't really say ball placement is an issue. I am actually really excited to see Week 11 for Pitt against North Carolina, because he's going to be going up against Sam Howell. That's going to be a great matchup for the ACC Coastal Division.
That'll be a super fun matchup.
Yeah. He's also got amazing pocket presence. Like, even if he's not facing there, he doesn't have any peripheral going back there. He can just sense pressure. He can move. And he's not going to like run just because he feels pressure. He's going to try and stay in the pocket, get his receivers more time. But, you know, if he has to make a move, he can make a move. And I really like Kenny Pickett.
All right. I've had my doubts about Kenny Pickett, but I'm excited to see what he brings to the table this season. I trust your word. I know he's in for a big year now, and we'll see how he does as a draft prospect. Excited to see him throw to Pittsburgh's receiver Addison. My next player is linebacker from Utah, Devin Lloyd, 6'3", 235 pounds. The redshirt junior is just a beast, man. This guy is super strong. I got to throw this in there right quick. Utah Twitter wants me to bring up that this guy's a really good cornhole player. I don't know if that's true or not, but if this fellow's out there playing cornhole at this size, he might be the top-ranked cornhole player in the nation, folks. In 2019 and 2020, he played in 19 games. He accumulated 139 total tackles, 21 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, and the interception, which he did take back to the crib. It was on a screen, I believe. He got on the backfield, took it for 64 yards. He's got 2 pass deflections and a forced fumble. This might be my favorite linebacker in the class. I do want to see more from him and from the rest of the linebacker class, but very excited about Devin Lloyd. He has exquisite closing speed. He hits hard. He covers a large portion of the field with that sideline-to-sideline range. He's a fearless competitor, gets after it in all facets of the game. He's someone that I think takes really good angles, cuts people off. I think that this is like a really good player. I think he's going to be a very good day 2 pick for someone that is supreme athlete too. This decision that he made to stay another year when he could have gone to the draft and maybe been a 3rd round pick, I think it's a good one. I think he'll show out on tape this year, impress a lot of people, and make a lot of money.
Yeah, especially with the NIL. It's always good for the athletes to make the money. So even more reason to go back. Help the stock, help the bank account. Gotta love that. So I'm going to match that with my linebacker, Dorian Williams from Tulane. Tulane's returning two great linebackers in Williams and Nick Anderson, but I'm going to go over Dorian Williams right here. Dorian Williams, he's one of the best linebackers in the country when it comes to defending the pass. He had, I believe it was the second highest amount of pass stops amongst linebackers with 14. And I think that, once again, going back to fits with the NFL is becoming more of a pass-happy league, and you want people at every level who can stop the pass. And Dorian Williams has proved that he can do that at an elite level. He's not amazing in the run game, but he's still able to tackle, and he's still a physical guy. But if you can see him get a little bit better in that area, and just as long as he doesn't regress in the pass game, he's very efficient at what he does. And I really like Dorian. He's only about 220 pounds, but I don't really think that's as much of a worry as some people may think. I think that's a fine size for a linebacker.
All right, man. I'm going straight to the offensive line here with a center, Tyler
Ooh.
Linderbaum from Iowa. 6'3", 290 pounds. When you think of that, you are not thinking of a sick athlete. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're wrong. This guy is one of the better athletes in the country, despite his size and the position he plays. Back in high school, this kid played baseball, he did shot put, and he wrestled. In addition to playing not only the offensive line, but the defensive line. When he got to Iowa, he came as a defensive tackle. Now he's the best center in the country. This guy is so good. He started all 13 games in his first season playing football at Iowa in 2019. The redshirt junior is looking to just have a monster season. He's improved Iowa's run game a lot. Just speaking to his athleticism real quick again, he played scout team receiver at some point. Like just because he's a big boy doesn't mean he's not an athlete. This guy is a freak of nature. I truly believe he's the best center in the country, but I think he's one of the best offensive linemen in the country. I think he's top three easily. He might be the best offensive lineman in the country, truthfully. He's so good. Just in every facet of the game, the run and the pass game, I think he runs really well, which is an underrated attribute. He gets downfield to that second level and he's still blocking. The ball could be 70 yards away and he's still engaging with a defender and making his presence felt and putting this kid on the ground. His head's always on a swivel. He's just hungry to find someone to beat up. He's a maniac. How can you not love that about an offensive lineman? He's got a super high IQ. He's only getting better and better. Man, I think he uses his lower body real well in pass protection. I think he's elite in the run game. Tyler Linderbaum, folks, might be a first-round pick as a center. I think he's worthy of it. I think that this guy is we're going to be watching like Sunday Night Football in like 7 years, and we'll hear Tyler Linderbaum, Iowa, and we'll be like, yo, this is one of the best offensive linemen in the game. I think Linderbaum has a long career ahead of him. I really do. I think he's going to play in the NFL for a long time, make a lot of money. Just a fun offensive lineman to root for. So that's my pick, Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't take the iconic Brian Balaga, Iowa. If he does something else, but being a big Brian Balaga fan, and also just taking an Iowa lineman, that's never a bad idea. They produce some amazing linemen. So I'm gonna go to a guy who produces because of having good offensive linemen, and that is the running back position. I'm going to go with C.J. Verdell from Oregon. Verdell was one of my favorite backs to watch in 2019. What he did in that Pac-12 championship game against Utah, my gosh, he did everything. He was able to catch the ball. He was good in pass pro, and he torched them on the ground. He had an insane amount of yards, and one of the biggest reasons is Oregon won that game and went to the Rose Bowl. He's not just a one-cut guy who's going to run up the field. He can make multiple moves. He's not easy to take down for someone of his size. He's 5'7", close to 5'8", 205 pounds, but you can't arm tackle him. It's not easy to tackle him. He's definitely someone who's going to be more than just a two-down guy. He's able to work 3 downs as a pass pro. He's able to go out on routes. He's going to be very effective as a runner, whether it's in between the tackles or outside. He's very versatile, and I actually want to see how he does against that Ohio State front seven. I don't think Oregon has a chance in that game, but I want to see how he's able to produce against the high-level talent that the Buckeyes always have on the defensive side of the ball.
Oregon fans are going to love you for that pick, and A&M fans are going to love me for this pick. It's the 6'5", 255-pound tight end, Jalen Weidermeyer. The true junior has exploded onto the scene, whether it's showcasing his skills as a red zone threat or a matchup nightmare. He's got a humongous catch radius. It's helped him accumulate 78 catches, 953 receiving yards, 12 receiving touchdowns, good for 12.2 yards per catch. This guy is a beast. He's got excellent hands. He runs routes very well. He gets after it in the blocking game. He's very committed and confident when blocking. He's spoken about how he believes the key to being a good blocker is just confidence. So that's just the quote that you love to hear. He's tough to tackle. He's got solid speed, nimble feet. It's not easy to bring this guy down, whether he's getting slippery and getting away from you or just powering over you like a bulldozer. So dang strong and physical. And one thing I liked about him is I think he has real good release off the line of scrimmage when he's running his routes.
Yeah, Weidemeyer is a very talented tight end. I was going to go with him, but I let you have him because I knew how much you liked him. So I'm going to go with another offensive weapon. I'm going to go with my first wide receiver. I'm going to go with Reggie Roberson Jr. from SMU. He 6 foot, 200 pounds, but he runs like a gazelle. He's very quick. He's not just fast, he's quick. He's good off the line of scrimmage. He's very agile. And he's actually got a good release package. Like when you think of the deep threat guys who you know usually just send them on streaks as something, no, they usually don't have a ton of good releases. He's got a really good release package. Like he's able to get immediate separation off the line of scrimmage, and then he can burn right by you. Like you're going to see smoke with how fast he runs. He did miss a decent amount of 2020 because of a knee injury. And he missed a little bit of 2019 too. If he can stay fully healthy in 2021, I would not be surprised if he ended up being round 1 or 2 pick. I think he has shown enough in the time at SMU where people are going to start watching him more. And, you know, I think he's set for a full breakout season. He was on pace for it last year. He had a game where he had like 240 yards and 2 touchdowns against Memphis. And then the unfortunate knee injury happened. He averaged over 21 yards per catch. Like that's absurd. And as I've reiterated multiple times, I think Roberson's going to have a monster breakout season. He's going to solidify himself as one of the top wide receivers, and hopefully he can do something in the NFL with that, because he's definitely got the skill where he can make a huge impact.
I like that pick a lot. I hope he's able to just have a real good season, but also a very healthy one, because he has struggled with injuries, unfortunately. I think he's also a very talented receiver. I think SMU's pass offense is lethal. They've got multiple receivers that are great. Danny Gray, Rashee Rice, who I would have spoken about, but I want to start speaking about some other guys, maybe guys I should talk up more that I love and just haven't talked up much in the past. So we're going with the receiver here who is highly regarded to. This kid, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, 6 foot 192, the true junior. This is someone that last year before the season, I said it straight up. I think he's one of the best receivers in the country. I think he's going to be a top 5 receiver in the NFL one day. People look at you funny when you say that before someone's broke out. They look at you funny. I don't care. I think he's the top receiver in the country. Straight up think he's the best receiver in the country. I think he's the best receiving prospect in the draft. I believe that a lot. I think he would have been my number 1 last year's class too. I love this kid. He's very good at high playing the ball. He's nasty after the catch. He has great speed. He's so good at contested catching. He does an exquisite job of tracking the ball in flight. This is stuff that has helped them accumulate 73 catches, 1,155 receiving yards, 11 receiving touchdowns, good for 15.8 yards per catch. Now, the absurd production isn't there yet, but who cares? He plays at Ohio State. He plays with Chris Olave. He plays with, there will be other talented receivers coming in. You share the sugar there. Not everyone's gonna just dominate and eat with crazy production. He's gonna have a great productive career in the NFL. You'll see that. Just ignore if the production's not. I still think the production's gonna be great, but if you're tripping over his production, you're not looking at his talent and his skill set. You're tripping, man. Large catch radius. He's explosive before and after the catch. He's a clean route runner with sick footwork. I spoke about it a few minutes ago. I think he will be a top 5 receiver in the NFL at some point. I truly believe that. This is someone I'm definitely I would be picking if I was an NFL team. I'd pick him with the top 5, top 7 pick, 100%. He's everything you want in a receiver. He's everything you want. All around, just a goon. And I think he's going to have a very successful career, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say Ohio State has the top 2 wide receivers in the country with Wilson and Olave. That's going to be something to watch. And unfortunately, as a Minnesota fan, I have to watch him week 1 torch my Gophers. So on that note, I'm going to talk about a Gopher myself to help me feel better. I swear there's no bias in this pick. I'm going to go Daniel Followay, the tackle from Melbourne, Australia, 6'8", 370 pounds, absolute behemoth of a man. He didn't play in 2020 due to COVID, but if you watched him at the end of 2019, my gosh, this guy was one of the better tackles in the country. And I mean, in my opinion, I really want a big tackle, like 6'7", 8. I was high on Spencer Brown last year. I'm really high on Daniel Followay out of Minnesota. And I think that if he cleans a few things up, because sometimes I notice he gets a little high on his block, if he can keep those hips a little bit lower, I think he has a chance to be one of the top tackles, not just a tackle that you're going to see his value in like the 5th or 6th round. No, I think he has a chance to be one of those guys that's like, he may fall 3rd, 4th, maybe possibly 2nd round if he has a really good year. But I think he's going to be a guy that has a good enough year, gets drafted high in the NFL, and then he's going to have a breakout year and everyone's going to be like, oh, this guy should have gone 1st, 2nd round.
Like that pick a lot. Going with another offensive lineman myself, going with the UCLA guy, UCLA fan. No bias here, just like he had no bias with his Minnesota goon. I'm going with Sean Ryan. He's 6'5", 320 pounds. We just saw him put in a lot of great work week 0 against Hawaii. He opens up holes in the run game like no other. I love this guy in the run game. He gets out there. He's hitting people. He has good footwork. I like watching him on as a swing tackle in the run game. He's fortifying that left side of the line for the Bruins. I think he's a top 3 tackle in the class. He's super strong. He's a bully in the trenches. I spoke about Tyler Linderbaum's athletic ability. Sean Ryan also very good at shot put. So you love seeing that. Shot put offensive linemen are good, I swear. Sean got to UCLA. It wasn't a good offensive line. He started all 12 games as a freshman in 2019, helped the Bruins out so much, helped them become a good offensive lineman. They were running for a good chunk of yards per carry. He helped the Bruins in 2020 rush for, I think, over 200 yards like 5 times, something UCLA hasn't done in years, like a long time. I like him a lot. He's got good coordination. He keeps calm. He's got room to grow. He really does have room to grow, and that's scary because I think right now he is one of the best tackles in the country, in the class. There's so many fun traits to build off of. I think Sean Ryan could be a very good tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, watching that rushing attack against Hawaii, that was something else. So I feel like we've been on a bit of an offensive run, so I'm going to bring in my opinion, my favorite player on my list on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go Tyke Smith, safety from Georgia, went to West Virginia, transferred to Georgia. He's 5'10", 198. Some people may say, oh, he's a little undersized. No, that's a beautiful size for a safety. One of my favorite college football players of all time is Antoine Winfield Jr., and he's 5'9", not much more than that, but what he is he's a very strong safety. And now I'm talking about Smith, but these also are about Winfield because I feel a few similarities. Very strong safety, and one of my favorite things about these types of safeties, they're able to play in the box or in the outfield. You can line him up deep. He's going to be a ball hawk. He's going to be able to get the ball. He can make interceptions in the back of the end zone. Or you can put him in the box. He can stuff the run. He can sniff out screens, and very physical guy. He's able to force turnovers. He's able to put ball carriers on their butt, make them feel his presence. And, just, you can tell it's going to be a tough day if you see number 23 for Georgia on that defensive side of the ball.
I love Tyke Smith as well. I really liked him at West Virginia. Hope he could recover quickly from the injury that he suffered in camp. I'm going on the defense side of the ball for my next two picks as well. Right here, we're going Derek Canteen, cornerback, Georgia Southern, 5'11", 190-pound, redshirt sophomore. He's only this upcoming season, only the second year that he'll have played in college, but he dominated as a redshirt freshman. I don't feel like he's a breakout player. I feel like people should know the name Derek Canteen. That's why I ranked him the 5th best corner in the country. In 13 games last year. Yeah, 13 games at Georgia Southern in a COVID year. They played a lot. He played a lot. He had 48 tackles. He had 10 pass deflections. He had a forced fumble. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. He was tied for a lead in the country with 6 interceptions. He was locking things down, and that's impressive because Georgia Southern was looking for a guy that could replace Kendall Vildor, and he did that, and he did it very well. When Canteen was targeted, opposing quarterbacks had a QBR of 31.7. On a minimum of 30 targets, that ranks second lowest in the country. Only Ahmad Sauce Gardner had a better lower QBR. So yeah, Canteen is in elite company. He has very good break on the ball. He's baiting quarterbacks into making poor throws, and he's picking a freak athlete. You'll see him make diving interceptions. I believe he made a diving interception against Coastal. I could have the team wrong, but I think it was against Coastal. He has very high IQ, super intelligent. For a young player, I love seeing that. Instincts are so good. His understanding of the position, he's always making the right place, fluid in his movements. He keeps those ideal angles. He's toying with the quarterback. He's toying with the receiver. He's got them in a pad cell. That's what you want from a corner. You want the swagger, the confidence, what we saw from J.C. Horn. You love seeing corners like that they know they're the alpha in the situation, despite the fact that a receiver could go out there one play, have 70-yard touchdown. The corner comes back in the next drive, and they're saying, that was fluky. That was on someone else. That wasn't on me. I'm going to lock you down right now. That's what Derek Canteen is. He's a lockdown corner. I do think it's unlikely that he enters this 2022 NFL draft, but I'm okay putting his name out there just in case he explodes onto the scene again and is worthy of a day 2 pick. I think he's very good, incredibly slept on. He's a top 5 corner in the country for me. As I mentioned, he is number 5. I think he's going to be one of the best corners in whatever draft he enters. And I would strongly advise invest in Derek Canteen.
Derek Canteen, that's going to be a name to watch for this year. I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go with my edge rusher, Zion, and apologies if I mess up this name, Zion Tupuola-Fatui, the edge rusher from Washington, 6'4", 281 pounds. The first thing I saw watching, I'm going to call him ZTF, otherwise I'm going to make an absolute fool of myself. The first thing I watched ZTF do was bully a tackle with his very strong hands. My gosh. Like, if there was Olympic thumb wrestling, he would probably win gold every year. That's how strong his hands are. Like he's just able to manhandle tackles. He's getting straight to the quarterback. He's got a good bull rush. Uh, my really only concern is he doesn't have anything outside of that when it comes to a pure pass rush move. But he's good against the run. You know, he's not easily just like kept where he is. You gotta try and move him, which is very tough to do. And like I said, I really like having strong hands from an edge rusher because it's just easier to take control to tackle. If you have the leverage when you're in the trenches, you're going to win majority of the time.
Tell these fellas watching what you really want to say about ZTF. He's a behemoth.
You know, he's not as much of a behemoth as Falele, but he's a big dude. He's
a monster, and
yeah, he plays like it. He plays like it.
My ninth player is another monster as well. He's only 6'1", 192. Plays safety for Northwestern. It's who I believe to be the best safety in the country. It's Brandon Joseph, who, let's just get this out of the way. He's playing for Northwestern and a team with a defensive identity. This kid was originally committed to Texas Tech. Gross. Awful pass defense at Tech. He's a redshirt sophomore. This is a guy I see being a top 12 pick easy. I think he's fantastic. Northwestern guy, the fighting Reese Davises. You know they have super high IQ. He shows that off. In 2020, in 8 games, he had 46 tackles. Like Canteen, he had 6 interceptions, tied for the lead in the country. He had 2 pass deflections. He didn't allow a touchdown. He allowed 50 yards on the season. He was targeted 24 times. That's dominance. That's dominance from your safety. And I spoke up Garrett Wilson earlier. Brandon Joseph locked Garrett Wilson up out of the slot in the end zone. You saw his sick ball skills on display. He reached back, grabbed the one-handed INT while covering the best receiver in the country as a redshirt freshman. Like, he's just my top draft eligible safety. He's the best safety in the country. He allowed 0.17 yards per snap.
It seems Bruin agrees with you on that take.
Unreal that he had the bark.
I still can't imagine that great of a defensive player going to Texas Tech. Like,
that would have been terrible. But
that would have been a travesty. Or maybe it would have helped that program a lot.
Maybe. You know? But I don't think he's at Texas Tech where he's allowing 0.17 yards per snap. It was around that number. That's insane. QBRs, blah, blah, blah. Quarterbacks had a QBR of 6.7 when the ball was thrown his way. Dude,
that's pretty good.
He is nuts. Yeah, Kyle Hamilton at Notre Dame is good. Brandon Joseph is better. I'm sorry. Versatile, lines up anywhere on the defensive side. He's ready to get after it. He wants the opposing team's top assignment. He has absurd intelligence, high level instincts. He's an elite athlete, has incredible range. You'll see him out there ball hawking. You'll see him making good tackles. Really good in zone coverage, and he's impressive. And man, I don't know what else you want from a redshirt freshman safety he was in 2020. This is a redshirt sophomore that has so much to obsess over. He's going to have a big season for Northwestern. He's just a really good all-around safety with high IQ that plays well in zone, plays well in man, plays well against the run. I mean, what else are you looking for in a safety? I think Brandon Joseph, top 12 pick.
Yeah, I don't know how much else you can ask of any player, let alone just a safety, to do on the field. I mean, he's definitely going to have a massive impact for that Wildcats team this year. I'm going to go with the first tight end off on mine. In fact, the only tight end. I'm going to go Jaleel Billingsley from Alabama, 6'4", 230. I don't even want to say tight end. I just want to say athlete because he doesn't really play like a tight end. He plays just like an offensive weapon. He didn't see a ton of the field early last year for Alabama. But he saw it more later in the year. You saw him against Florida. You saw him have some good plays against Ohio State. And I think with Alabama losing their top 3 offensive weapons with Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Najee Harris, he's going to see a lot more of those targets coming his way. It's going to be mainly him and John Mechie getting a decent amount of the targets for Alabama. He's an amazing athlete. He's really scary after the catch for the defense. He's very tough to take down. Only thing I'll say, if he is going to stay at tight end, he does need to get a little bit better as a blocker. There was a play in the championship game. He just botched a block and it turned into a turnover, I believe, or some sort of bad play. And yeah, that stuff can't happen when Nick Saban is your coach. You know he's going to get on you for those kinds of mistakes. Even though like blocking's not supposed to be his thing, you got to do everything at an elite level. So great receiver. Want to see improvements in the blocking this year.
I also really like Billingsley. Me as an athlete, Alabama, so many dudes about to break out. It's scary. On Billingsley, though, as you mentioned, you don't want to get on Saban's bad side. He already might have. Saban's been talking about him saying like discipline issues, whatever. Billingsley, like, dude, you gotta just listen to coach and figure things out and get to the league because you're a stud.
I don't know how you can have disciplinary issues when Nick Saban is your coach. You would just be afraid of that man.
For real. Well, defense is sure to be afraid of Billingsley. I'm going with my final pick. I gotta end my list of 10 on a strong note. Gotta talk about my guy, 6'4", 215-pound quarterback from Nevada, Carson Strong. Yeah, there's so much to love about Carson Strong. Redshirt junior, who in 19 games has compiled a 66.7 completion percentage. That's 486 for 729 on his completion in attempts. He's passed for 5,193 yards. He has 38 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. This last season in the COVID year of 2020, he had 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had a passer rating of 160.6. Love Carson Strong. Lethal arm. His last name is perfect for him because he has that strong arm. He is a gunslinger. He throws that thing super far. It's not an arm attached to his body. It's a dang bazooka. You'll see him throw the ball to plenty of NFL caliber players like Romeo Doubs, Elijah Cooks, and Cole Turner. Nevada's going to be sick this year, and Carson Strong's a big reason why. He's deadly accurate. He makes throws that NFL guys aren't making. He's making those throws to the far sideline on 12-yard out routes, and they're on the money. These are pretty NFL throws. You'll see him next year at Pro Day. He'll have like 8 clips tweeted out, and people are like, arm talent. Really? Yeah. The Carson Strong, just going to be another small school stud quarterback that's going to fly up draft boards this season, especially when he leads this Nevada team to a huge year. He's fearless. He's super confident in his abilities, but he stays poised. He stays calm. People I see are kind of hating on his mobility. He has a bad knee, and he gets out of the pocket and he makes throws on the run. So I don't see why there's any hate for that. He's got a bad knee. He's been dealing with that. There's a throw he made to Romeo Doubs in the game last year where he rolled out right, threw it off his back foot. Cannon to the end zone. Doubs made a really good play adjusting to the ball. Those two have such a good combination. He has a quick release, good mechanics. It's effortless, man. It's so effortless. I think he's so good. I'd rank him third. I think right now he's the third best quarterback in the country. I think regarding the NFL draft, I'd rank him my number 2 quarterback with the potential to be number 1. And that might sound like blasphemy right now. It does sound like blasphemy. But in a few weeks, a few months, the tide will start to change. Carson Strong's going to go up. And y'all are going to wish that you bought in on him when he was super low and nobody was talking about him. I'm recommending it. Carson Strong is going to blow up this year. He's got multiple good games that you could watch. He starts with the season this Saturday at Cal, plays at Kansas State, at Boise State. He's just going to be a huge riser. He's got a lot of good skills. Ignore the school he plays at, ignore the conference. Trust in his traits like we trusted in Josh Allen's traits and all those other small school QBs. We're trusting Trey Lance's traits. He has so many star traits. You want to invest in that. I think he will be a top 10 pick, potentially top 5. I'm confident he'll be a top 10 pick. Carson Strong.
Yeah, it sounds like you feel really strongly about Carson.
One would say that, yes.
Yeah, and you would also say that they're going to catch a lot of dubs.
One would also say that, yes. Thank you for the puns.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's what we get with you, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to deal with my puns. I'm gonna go with my last guy, and this guy last year he had an absolute breakout season for the Hoosiers. And that's Ty Freifogel, the wide receiver, 6'2", 205, a guy who just bullies the opposition with his body mass. Like, you've heard of guys that are considered the jump ball receiver. Freifogel's more than that because he isn't just a jump ball receiver. Now, he definitely can win balls in the air, but he's also able to separate himself that a lot of people don't really recognize because they usually see him making great catches. You saw there was some good catches against Ohio State last year. He actually releases pretty well, and that's one of my big things with receivers. I want to see you get separation at the line of scrimmage because that's where you're going to get the most separation if it's like an equal body, equal speed. He's got good to great release. I think his release is pretty good. He's got semi-okay hands. He had a few bad drops last year, mainly one against Ohio State that would have gave them a first down on a fourth down conversion that he did end up drop on. I want to say it was a slant. Yeah, that was a bad drop. He needs to fix those up. But I do think he has the potential to solidify himself as one of the top wide receivers in the Big Ten. Obviously, he's not going to be up there with the Olaves and the Garrett Wilsons, but that second tier of receivers in the Big Ten, that's going to be a good tier. You're going to get a lot of value there mid in the middle rounds of the NFL draft. You're going to get the guys like Ty Freifogel. If Chris Ottman-Bell, another Minnesota shout out, if Chris Ottman-Bell has a good season, hopefully he's okay.
Raheem Jarrett, Maryland.
Raheem Jarrett's another one. Yeah. I think that second tier of Big Ten receivers, you're going to see them blossom into good to great wide receiver 2 and 3s on NFL rosters.
Love that we ended on a Freifogel pick. Ty Fry, invest in that man. Great name, great nickname. Great. And yeah, that's the 20 names that we came up with, 10 each, going a wide range there of top talent, unknown guys. We had a guy that might go top 7 in Garrett Wilson. You have Derek Canty. You have Fiola and ZTF. There's a lot of different names there, and I hope that y'all appreciated the work that we put into this. We're going to have more draft content planned, Mr. Andrew and I, maybe some mock draft stuff, community mock draft stuff. Hope y'all want to get involved in that. And yeah, I don't know, let us know your favorite prospects in the upcoming draft right now. Let us know who your guys are. These are our guys. Thank you for watching. Oh, and subscribe. You better subscribe.
Yeah, that would probably we'd like that if you subscribed.
If you subscribe, it doesn't cost anything, and we'll throw you a touchdown pass.
Yeah. We can make one of those GIFs you were tweeting out during the Nickelodeon playoff game. Just throw a touchdown.
Ooh, that's even better. If everyone subscribes, we'll give them an MVP trophy.
Yeah, if Trubisky can get some sort of award, everyone deserves one. So, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos, whether it's draft content, player interviews, or just college football stuff. See ya.